A mother is sitting in a hospital room, holding her son's hand. The boy is 8 years old. His name is Tommy. He has leukemia. The doctors have told her to prepare for the worst. Tommy has one request, just one. He wants to meet his hero, the man from the movies, the man with the tough face but kind eyes, Eugene Allen Hackman. His mother writes a letter. She doesn't expect a response. Celebrities get thousands of letters. Why would a movie star care about a dying boy in Los Angeles? She mails it anyway, because when your child is dying, you'll try anything. 3 weeks pass. No response. Tommy is getting weaker. The treatments aren't working. The doctors are running out of options. And then, on a Tuesday afternoon, a nurse rushes into the room. "Mrs. Chen, there's someone here to see Tommy." The mother looks up. Standing in the doorway is Eugene Allen Hackman. What happened over the next 4 hours would change Tommy's life forever. But here's what nobody expected. 20 years later, Tommy Chen would stand on a stage, accepting an award for his first film, and the first words out of his mouth were, "This is for the man who taught me how to fight. Stay with me. This story will remind you why kindness matters." Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, March 1988. Room 412 on the pediatric oncology floor was like every other room in the ward. White walls, beeping machines, the smell of antiseptic that never quite covered the smell of fear. Tommy Chen had been in this room for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of chemotherapy. 6 weeks of needles and nausea, and nights when his mother cried in the hallway because she didn't want him to see her break down. Tommy was 8 years old. He should have been playing baseball. He should have been arguing with his little sister about who got the last cookie. He should have been dreaming about summer vacation. Instead, he was dreaming about staying alive. But Tommy had another dream too. A smaller one. A silly one, his mother said. But it kept him going through the worst nights. He wanted to meet Eugene Allen Hackman. Tommy had discovered Eugene's movies by accident. His father had been watching Hoosiers one night, and Tommy had wandered into the living room. He was supposed to be asleep, but the sound of the movie had drawn him in. He watched the whole thing, hidden behind the couch, and something about Eugene Allen Hackman's face stayed with him. The way he played Coach Norman Dale, tough on the outside, but underneath, you could see he cared. You could see he would do anything for his team. Tommy started watching every Eugene Allen Hackman movie he could find. The French Connection, Superman, Uncommon Valor. His mother didn't understand the obsession, but she didn't stop it either, whatever made Tommy happy. When Tommy got sick, the movies became his escape. During the worst chemo sessions, when his body felt like it was being torn apart from the inside, Tommy would close his eyes and imagine he was somewhere else. On a basketball court in Indiana, chasing bad guys through New York City, fighting alongside soldiers in Vietnam. Eugene Allen Hackman became his hero. Not because he was famous, because he never gave up. In every movie, no matter how bad things got, he kept fighting. Tommy wanted to be like that. One night, when Tommy was too weak to watch movies, he asked his mother for a piece of paper. "I want to write a letter." "To who, sweetheart?" "To Mr. Hackman. I want to tell him thank you." His mother's heart broke a little. She knew the letter would probably never reach him. She knew that even if it did, celebrities didn't respond to fan mail. Not personally, but she got Tommy the paper anyway. And Tommy wrote, "Dear Mr. Hackman, my name is Tommy. I am 8 years old. I have leukemia. The doctors say I might not get better, but I'm trying to fight like you do in your movies. I watch your movies when I feel really sick. They help me be brave. My favorite is Hoosiers. I like how Coach Dale never gives up on his team, even when everyone says they can't win. I feel like I'm on a team too, but my team is me and my mom and the doctors. I know you're very busy and famous, but if you ever have time, I would really like to meet you. You don't have to. I just wanted to say thank you for making movies that help me fight. Your friend, Tommy Chen. His mother mailed the letter to Eugene's agency in Los Angeles. She didn't tell Tommy, but she also wrote her own letter, a mother's letter, explaining the diagnosis, the prognosis, the fact that her son might not have much time left. She sealed both letters in the envelope and sent them, and then she waited. 3 weeks passed. Tommy's condition worsened. The leukemia wasn't responding to treatment. The doctors started talking about experimental procedures, last resorts. Tommy stopped asking about the letter. He stopped talking much at all. He was saving his energy for breathing. His mother had given up hope on the letter. It was a silly dream anyway. Eugene Allen Hackman was a movie star. He had better things to do than visit a dying boy in a hospital. And then, on a Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. A nurse named Patricia rushed into room 412, her face flushed with excitement. "Mrs. Chen, there's someone here to see Tommy." "Who? We're not expecting anyone." Patricia lowered her voice to a whisper. "It's Eugene Hackman, the Eugene Hackman. He's at the nurse's station. He has flowers and I think he's nervous." Mrs. Chen's hand flew to her mouth. "What?" "He said he got a letter from Tommy. He wants to know if it's okay to visit." Mrs. Chen started crying. Not sad tears, shock tears, disbelief tears. She looked at Tommy, who was sleeping fitfully in the bed. Yes, of course. Please. Send him in." Eugene Allen Hackman walked into room 412, carrying a bouquet of flowers in one hand and a paper bag in the other. He was wearing jeans and a simple blue button-down shirt. No entourage, no publicist, no cameras. Just a man with flowers, visiting a boy who wrote him a letter. He stopped at the foot of the bed and looked at Tommy, at the tubes, at the machines, at the small, fragile body fighting a war it wasn't supposed to fight. Eugene's eyes got wet. He blinked it away. Mrs. Chen stood up. "Mr. Hackman, I don't know what to say. Thank you for coming. I didn't think—" "I got your letter," Eugene said quietly. "Both of them, Tommy's and yours." He set the flowers down on the side table. "I read Tommy's letter 5 times, and then I read yours, and I got in my car and drove here." He paused. "I'm sorry it took 3 weeks. I was out of the country filming. I came as soon as I got back." "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." Tommy stirred in the bed. His eyes fluttered open. For a moment he didn't understand what he was seeing. The medication made everything fuzzy. But then his vision cleared, and he saw Eugene Allen Hackman standing at the foot of his bed. Tommy's eyes went wide. Mom, is that—" Mrs. Chen knelt beside him, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, baby, it's him. He came to see you." Tommy tried to sit up. His arms were too weak. Eugene moved quickly to the side of the bed and gently helped him. "Easy there, partner. Don't strain yourself." Tommy stared at him, his hero, standing right there, touching his arm. "Mr. Hackman? That's me, but you can call me Gene." "Gene," Tommy whispered, like it was a magic word. Eugene sat down in the chair beside the bed. He reached into the paper bag he'd brought. "I heard you like movies, so I brought you something." He pulled out a VHS tape. "Hoosiers," with a handwritten note on the case. "I signed it for you, and I wrote something on the back." Tommy took the tape with trembling hands. He turned it over and read the note. "To Tommy, the bravest fighter I know. Your friend, Gene Hackman." Tommy started crying. Hey, none of that," Eugene said softly. "You know what Coach Dale would say? No crying in basketball." Tommy laughed through his tears. That's A League of Their Own. Different movie. Eugene grinned. You caught me. You really do watch a lot of movies. All of yours? All of them? Even the bad ones? There are no bad ones. Eugene laughed. A real laugh. The kind that came from somewhere deep. Tommy, I like you. You've got good taste. For the next 4 hours, Eugene Allen Hackman stayed in room 412. He didn't check his watch. He didn't take phone calls. He didn't act like he had somewhere better to be. He just sat with Tommy and talked. They talked about movies, about how films were made, about what it was like to be on set. Tommy had a million questions, and Eugene answered every single one. Is it scary doing your own stunts? Sometimes, but you know what's scarier? Doing a romantic scene. I never know what to do with my hands. Tommy giggled. What's your favorite movie you ever made? Eugene thought about it. Honestly, Hoosiers. Because it's about underdogs. It's about people who everyone counted out. And they proved everyone wrong. He looked at Tommy meaningfully. Kinda like you. Tommy was quiet for a moment. Gene, can I tell you something? Anything. Sometimes I'm scared. The doctors say I need to be strong. Mom says I need to fight. But sometimes I'm just really scared. Eugene leaned forward. His voice dropped low, just between the two of them. Tommy, I'm going to tell you a secret, something I don't tell many people. Tommy nodded, eyes wide. When I was young, before I was an actor, I had nothing. I was broke. I was sleeping in my car. I had auditioned for 100 roles and gotten rejected from every single one. Everyone told me to give up. Everyone said I'd never make it. But you didn't give up. No. But here's the thing. I was terrified. Every single day. I didn't know if I was going to eat. I didn't know if I'd have a place to sleep. I didn't know if my dreams were stupid. He put his hand on Tommy's arm. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared, Tommy. Being brave means you're scared, and you keep going anyway. You feel the fear, and you don't let it stop you. Tommy's chin trembled. I don't know if I'm brave enough. Yes, you are. You know how I know? How? Because you wrote me that letter. You reached out when you were at your lowest. That takes guts, Tommy. That takes the kind of courage most people never find. Eugene squeezed his arm gently. You're a fighter. I can see it in you. And I want you to promise me something. What? Promise me you won't give up. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how scared you feel, you keep fighting. Can you do that? Tommy nodded slowly. I promise. Good. Because I'm going to hold you to that, and I'm going to come back next week to check on you. Deal? Tommy's face lit up. You're coming back? Every week until you're out of this hospital. That's a promise. Tommy lunged forward and hugged Eugene. It wasn't a strong hug. He didn't have the strength. But it was the most genuine embrace Eugene had felt in years. Thank you, Gene. Thank you for coming. Eugene hugged him back, carefully avoiding the IV lines. Thank you for writing me, Tommy. You have no idea how much your letter meant to me. When Eugene left room 412 that evening, he stopped at the nurse's station. I'll be back next Tuesday, he told Patricia. Please make sure Tommy knows. Mr. Hackman, that's incredibly kind of you, but you really don't have to. I know I don't have to. I want to. He paused. Also, I'd like to speak with his doctors, privately. Is that possible? I can arrange that. May I ask why? Eugene's jaw tightened. Because that boy is going to get the best treatment available, whatever it costs, whatever it takes. I want to know what options exist, and I want to make sure nothing is off the table because of money. Patricia stared at him. You want to pay for his treatment? If necessary, yes. But I don't want Tommy or his mother to know. Can you keep that between us? Patricia nodded slowly, tears forming in her eyes. "Yes, Mr. Hackman, I can do that. Thank you. I'll see you next Tuesday." Eugene Allen Hackman kept his promise. Every Tuesday for the next 4 months, he walked into room 412. Sometimes he brought movies, sometimes he brought books, sometimes he just brought himself. He watched films with Tommy. He helped him with homework when Tommy felt well enough to study. He told him stories from movie sets, making Tommy laugh with behind-the-scenes disasters and celebrity mishaps. But mostly, he just listened. He listened when Tommy was scared. He listened when Tommy was angry. He listened when Tommy wanted to talk about what would happen if the treatment didn't work. "Gene, what do you think happens when you die?" They were watching Superman together. Tommy had asked the question out of nowhere. Eugene paused the movie. "Honestly, Tommy, I don't know. Nobody does. But I'll tell you what I believe." "What?" "I believe that the people we love stay with us, not in a spooky ghost way, but in the way we remember them, the way they changed us, the way they made us better." He looked at Tommy. "Even if something happens to you, and I don't think it will, because you're a fighter, you've already changed people. You've changed me, and that doesn't go away. That's forever." Tommy was quiet for a moment. "Gene? Yeah? I don't want to die. I know, buddy, I know. But I'm not as scared as I used to be." "Why's that?" "Because you told me being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means being scared and not giving up." Tommy smiled weakly. "I'm not giving up." Eugene had to look away for a moment. He didn't want Tommy to see him cry. "That's right, Tommy. You're not giving up, and neither am I." What Tommy didn't know, what his mother didn't know, was that Eugene had been working behind the scenes. He had contacted specialists across the country. He had arranged for Tommy to be evaluated by a top oncologist at Stanford. He had quietly paid for treatments that insurance wouldn't cover. He never told anyone. He never asked for credit. He just did it. Because some things you don't do for recognition. You do them because they're right. 5 months after Eugene's first visit, Tommy Chen received news. The leukemia was in remission. The doctors couldn't explain it. The experimental treatment had worked better than anyone expected. Tommy's body had responded. The cancer was retreating. When Eugene walked into room 412 that Tuesday, he found Tommy sitting up in bed, grinning from ear to ear. "Gene, I'm getting better. The doctor said I'm in remission." Eugene stopped in the doorway. For a moment, he couldn't speak. Then he crossed the room in 3 strides and wrapped Tommy in the biggest hug of his life. "I knew it," Eugene said, his voice thick. "I knew you'd beat it. I told you. You're a fighter." Mrs. Chen was standing by the window, weeping with joy. "Mr. Hackman, Gene, I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done. Visiting every week, being there for him. I know you're a busy man and I just—" "Mrs. Chen," Eugene said gently, "your son taught me more about courage in the last 5 months than I've learned in 50 years of making movies. I should be thanking you." He looked at Tommy. "So, what's the plan now, partner? When you get out of here?" Tommy didn't hesitate. "I'm going to make movies, like you." Eugene laughed. "Is that right?" "Yes, but not act in them. I want to direct them. I want to tell stories that help people feel brave, like your movies helped me." Eugene's smile softened. "Tommy, I think that's the best plan I've ever heard." Tommy Chen was released from the hospital 6 weeks later. Eugene was there on the day he left. He walked beside Tommy's wheelchair as they made their way through the lobby. Nurses and doctors lined the hallway, clapping. At the entrance, Eugene knelt down beside the wheelchair. "This isn't goodbye, you know." "It's not?" "No, we're friends now, Tommy. Real friends. And real friends don't disappear just because you're out of the hospital." He pulled something from his jacket pocket. A business card. This is my home number, not my agent, not my publicist, me. If you ever need anything, anything at all, you call me. Tommy took the card like it was made of gold. I will, Gene. I promise. And one more thing. Eugene reached into his bag and pulled out a gift-wrapped package. Open it when you get home. Tommy nodded, clutching the package to his chest. They hugged one last time. And then Tommy Chen left the hospital, his mother pushing his wheelchair into the California sunshine. When Tommy got home, he opened the package. Inside was a video camera, a real one, professional quality, and a note. Tommy, every great director started somewhere. Here's your somewhere. Make something beautiful. Your friend, Gene. Tommy Chen started making films that summer. Short films at first. Little stories he shot in his backyard with his sister and the neighborhood kids. He sent every single one to Eugene, and Eugene watched every single one. Your framing is getting better, Eugene would say on their phone calls, but work on your pacing. Let the scenes breathe. Tommy took notes. He studied. He got better. In high school, he won his first film competition. Eugene sent him a congratulatory card. In college, he got accepted to USC Film School. Eugene wrote him a recommendation letter. At 25, he directed his first short film that played at Sundance. Eugene was in the audience. At 28, he got his first feature film deal, a small movie, independent, about a boy who writes letters to his hero. Eugene Allen Hackman was the first person he called. Gene, I did it. I'm making a real movie. I know, Tommy. I always knew you would. I want you to be in it. Silence on the other end. Tommy, I'm retired. I haven't made a movie in years. I know, but this one's different. This one's ours. Another long silence. Send me the script. Tommy sent the script. Eugene read it in one night. The next morning, Eugene called him back. I'm in. 20 years after Eugene Allen Hackman walked into room 412, The Letter premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. It was a small film, no big budget, no special effects, just a story about a sick boy, a movie star, and the letters that saved a life. The reviews were extraordinary. A triumph of the human spirit. Hackman's finest performance, not because of technique, but because of truth. A film that will make you believe in kindness again. 6 months later, Tommy Chen stood on stage at the Independent Spirit Awards, accepting the prize for Best First Feature. The audience applauded. Tommy held the award and waited for the room to quiet. I need to tell you about a letter, he began. The room went silent. When I was 8 years old, I was dying. Leukemia. The doctors told my mother to prepare for the worst. I was scared. I was alone. And I did the only thing I could think of. I wrote a letter to my hero. He paused, composing himself. I didn't expect an answer. Why would a famous movie star care about a dying kid in a hospital? But 3 weeks later, Eugene Allen Hackman walked into my room. Gasps from the audience. He brought me flowers. He brought me a signed copy of Hoosiers. And he told me something I've never forgotten. He said, being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. Being brave means you're scared, and you keep going anyway. Tommy's voice cracked. Gene visited me every Tuesday for 5 months. He watched movies with me. He listened to my fears. He made me believe I could fight. And when I got better, when I beat the cancer, he gave me a video camera and told me to make something beautiful. He held up the award. This is for the man who taught me how to fight. This is for the man who answered a letter when he didn't have to. This is for Eugene Allen Hackman. Tommy looked toward the front row, where an elderly man was sitting quietly. Gene, you saved my life, not with medicine, with kindness. You showed up when nobody expected you to. You stayed when you didn't have to. And you believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. Thank you for everything. This award is yours as much as it's mine." The audience rose to their feet, a standing ovation that lasted 3 full minutes. Eugene Allen Hackman sat in the front row, tears streaming down his face. He didn't wave. He didn't stand for recognition. He just nodded at Tommy, a small nod between two people who understood each other completely. After the ceremony, Tommy found Eugene backstage. "Gene." "Tommy." They hugged, two men who had been fighting together for 20 years. "You know," Eugene said, pulling back, "when I got your letter, I almost didn't come. I was tired. I'd been filming for months. I just wanted to go home and rest." "What made you come?" Eugene smiled. "Your letter, the way you wrote about being scared but wanting to fight anyway. It reminded me of myself when I was young, and I thought, if this kid can be that brave, the least I can do is show up." "You showed up every week for 5 months. Because you needed me. And honestly, I needed you too." Tommy looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Tommy, when I met you, I was at a low point. I'd been making movies for years, but I'd forgotten why. The fame, the money, the awards, none of it meant anything anymore. I felt empty." Eugene put his hand on Tommy's shoulder. "And then I met this 8-year-old kid fighting for his life, and he reminded me what really matters. Not the movies, not the recognition, the people, the connections, the moments when you show up for someone who needs you. You saved me, Gene." "No, Tommy, we saved each other." They say if you walk through the quiet streets of Santa Fe today, past the adobe houses and the art galleries, you might see an old man walking alone. No entourage, no cameras, no fanfare. Just a man who spent 50 years pretending to be other people, and then spent the rest of his life finally being himself. Eugene Allen Hackman never played the Hollywood game. He never smiled for the cameras when he didn't mean it. He never pretended to like people he didn't respect. And in an industry built on fakery, his authenticity was the rarest thing of all. But perhaps his greatest role was never captured on film. It was played in room 412 of a children's hospital, where a movie star became a friend, and a dying boy learned how to fight. Is there someone in your life who showed up when you needed them most? Someone who answered when they didn't have to? Hollywood has many legends, but Eugene Allen Hackman was something different. He was the truth in a city of lies. If you want to know the real stories, the ones they didn't put in the magazines, you're in the right place. We are peeling back the curtain on the legends. If this story moved you, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these untold stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Eugene Allen Hackman, The Untold Truth, and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Leave a comment below. Who showed up for you when you needed them most? I'll see you in the next video. Stay real.